These are the required points to express in your ad. Feel free to paraphrase and speak from your own experience. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So, it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And please make sure, this point, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Do you know the spelling of anchor.fm? ANCHOR.FM. Thank you for your listening. See you. Hello everyone, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. This time, I'd like to talk about, ROI of Smile is really high. And, maybe most of you or all of you understand that, smile is a great weapon for communications. And by using smiles, you can make communications flow smoothly, and which is a general understanding among at least Western societies. So in the case of Chinese society, smiling is said to be not so good for communicating, because I'm not a professional of Chinese culture, but in the case of Chinese culture, it is said that smiling people are considered to be weaker, and smiling people are thought to be flattering in favor of others, or flattering others, which is the understanding of smiling people in Chinese culture. So I don't know the details, but maybe weaker people are treated wrongfully or badly in China. Maybe which is why Chinese people hate to smile that frequently. Of course, they have emotions, and they show their emotions. Chinese people tend to show their own emotions much more than Japanese people. But in general case, I don't know in which situation they don't like smiling, but it is said that frequent smiling is bad in Chinese culture. And apart from such cultural differences, at least as I told you, smiling is good in Western cultures, and in this case, the Western culture means European cultures and the cultures of United States and Canada, of course including Australia and New Zealand, so which is why generally speaking, smiling is good, and smiling is also good even in the case of Japanese culture. So let me get back to the original topic of this movie. No, not of this movie, but of this episode of podcast. And smiling is good in the case of porn videos creations. So maybe, but how to use is different. Different from general communications or the communications in business situations. I mean, so to explain how to use smiles in the case of porn videos, let me use an example to explain for explaining using an example is good or easier for you to understand. So the example is Lily's hand shop. Maybe some of you have heard of the brand name, or the name of her works. And I'm sorry if my reading manner is wrong. If my reading manner is wrong, I'm sorry. So the spelling is Lilus and handjob is handjob, and in which there's an white woman and she jacks she jacks penises and she and some of her works have the videos of blowjobs, but in the most of her works are the porn videos of handjobs, and in those works she teases and tortures men by jacking penises with her adroit handjobs. And the how to torture is the majority of her works deal with denial plays, in which she does stop and go handjobs, like she jacks penises and she occasionally stops her own handjobs to prevent those men those teased men from ejaculating semen. So by using such teasing and high hand job skill, she bullies those porn actors by jacking their penises. And what I'd like to tell you in this situation is that the way she uses smiles is really great, or the way she uses smiles is what you should learn. I mean, when she is teasing, and when she stops and her own handjobs, or when she stops jacking penises, she often smiles to show that she is enjoying teasing and torturing the boys or the men, which is why by using such countenances, or by using such smiling, by using smiling, she's showing that she's really enjoying torturing and teasing those men. So which is why I'd like to tell you that you should use such facial expressions or countenances, any words are fine for explaining the facial expressions. And another word is a complexion, but countenance is much better word for explaining such emotional expressions. I mean, before I have created in the past I have created an episode in which I have told you that showing even at least part of face is important. And by showing some part of face, you can collect or gather more viewers, and which is what I told you. And as I told you, showing faces is really important for porn videos creations. So without reading the emotions, without reading facial expressions, or without reading countenances or emotions of porn actresses and porn actors, the viewers feel hard to enjoy. Of course, viewers can enjoy sexual plays, but it's better for the viewers to enjoy the facial expressions of porn actresses and porn actors. But more important is to enjoy the facial expressions of porn actresses. And men do not watch the facial expressions of porn actors so much. So what men focus on is the facial expressions, or the countenances of porn actresses. So going back to the example in which Miss Lil, I don't know the exact name of the porn actress or the white woman of Little Hand Job, but in the case of the white lady of Little Hand Job, she she occasionally smiles. She doesn't smile always. She doesn't smile always in her works, but she occasionally smiles in a work of hers. So when she smiles, the viewers can notice or can recognize that she is enjoying teasing boys and men on the scene. So by which viewers can be aroused more by watching or by recognizing her smiles. Like which if you are creating if you create porn videos, you should think of or you should adopt the adopt smiling as a checkpoint, which means you should ask the cast to smile when necessary, which is what I try to tell you. I'm sorry for I can't speak very well because I'm a non-native speaker of English. So what matters is that of course I don't need to explain the meaning of ROI. ROI is return on investment. By adopting or by taking such smiling actions into porn videos or your porn videos, you can improve the qualities of the porn videos you create, which is why you should focus not only on sexual intercourses or the sex skills of the cast or the porn actresses and the porn actors, but also you should focus on the facial expressions or countenances of those casts, which is what I'd like to tell you this time. So thank you very much for listening. See you